week by week. They're 4 points clear of the field after 9 rounds. Only Leeds have beaten them. And Robert Hicks is tonight's match referee. And it looks like Hull are going to get this game in motion, attacking from right to left as we watch. They're in predominantly, well, I suppose you would call it pink jerseys, up against the red and white, the red V of St Helens. Third game in 8 days. Will test the stamina, there's no doubt about that. And all the players say they are here to play. They don't particularly enjoy the training, not many of them, and they'd sooner be out there in the middle. But let's wait and see how it goes. Sneed gets us underway. Theo Farge is underneath the kick-off. And here we go. Could be a blood and thunder game, this, Terry.
Well, they want to set a marker down straight away, Hull FC. I thought they showed a lot of character against Hull KR. Down to 12 men, they got away with the win. Against Wakefield on Easter Monday, they were losing at half-time, yet they came back and won that game with that fabulous drop goal from Mark Sneed. But they're up against the Saints side here that have been absolutely full of confidence, whether it be the left side, the middles or the right side. They are really good, and I think that this lad who's carrying the ball has been a big improver this year, and I think they play off the back of what he does well.
That was Luke Thompson that Terry is talking about. Here's Johnny Lomax wearing number 1. Has operated at standoff for the majority of this season, in fact all of this season, but filling in tonight at full-back for Ben Barber. And that's the big question tonight. Just how will St Helens cope without their star man, without their marquee signing, Ben Barber? Theo Farge here with a high kick. And well claimed over on that far side by Jack Logan. He made that ball his own, made it sure, and made everybody around him knowing that it was going to be his ball. And he took it very well indeed. Albert Kelly, the dummy half. Here comes Mickey Payer now for Hull FC, inching their way away from their own goal line. Danny Houghton, they'll be delighted to see him back in the side. Both sides will be looking to get the ball out wide if they possibly can, but so far defence is dominating. 4 tackles gone. Hull still midway inside their own half. Taylor with the latest drive up the middle of the field. They reach tackle number 5. Still some way to go to the other end of the field. Good defensive set that by Saints. Mark Sneed then with the left-footed kick, and this will bounce all the way into the arms of Johnny Lomax.
It's a big tick in the box that for Saints. The opening set that they had to defend, restricting the metres. Hull FC just making 29 metres when they were carrying the ball, but Scott Taylor picking out James Roby, nice and direct from him. But they've got to be better coming out of yardage, otherwise it's going to be a tough ask for the kicker Mark Sneed to gain those valuable metres.
Luke Thompson again, but that's a solid challenge from Brad Fash. He's picking up pace there, but Brad Fash stopped him dead in his tracks. 3 tackles gone. Saints now over the halfway line with Kyle Amor. Tackling by the 2 prop forwards, Taylor and Payer. Farge looks for space behind him. It's Lomax. Here now is Mark Percival. Percival gets away from Danny Washbrook, but Kelly and Griffin in there quickly to pull him down just inside the 20-metre zone. Last tackle, Richardson to Theo Farge. Farge will hoist the kick out here, looking for Tommy Makinson. Big test for Talanoa, but he comes up with the goods. He came from the field of play, and he's trapped in goal. It is a goal line dropout. But Talanoa saying he got the ball on the other side of the whitewash.
Well, Talanoa, who heads the try-scoring charts, can't have many complaints about that. There's a wonderful kick and an even better chase. Robert Hicks.
Well, he actually jumps from the field of play, so it's all right to play on from there, but he's actually tackled in goal. Now, the ball is on the line, and that's classed as in goal, so the goal line dropout's a right call.
Yeah.
Well, it might be the top try-scoring Super League, but the guy playing opposite him, Tommy Makinson, with number 2 on his back, a lot of people I bumped into an ex-Super League player today said to me he's the best all-round winger in this competition, and it's a fascinating battle between these 2 players, these 2 fast try-scoring finishers. There's a mistake made by Kyle Moore in the play and stop the game again here for a scrum, but the 2 wingers, the right wing for St Helens, left winger for Hull, 2 very exciting and talented guys.
Well, that's a good matchup, and there's battles all over this pitch. We talked about the 2 hookers, the middlemen over on the flanks, and I'm certain that Scott Taylor and Kyle Amor will want to get one over on the other, and it is a mental marathon, Easter, whether you're playing those 3 games over 7, 8, 9 days. What you want to do is you want to get into a good groove, and that's the reason you've seen both teams try to be disciplined, try not to give easy meters, and St Helens give their first penalty of the evening.
Yes, not standing square at the play the ball. Just from that knock-on by Kyle Amor that gifted St Helens the possession. I just wonder what he was doing, because he was tackled and he stretched his arm out. Maybe it was to stop any damage to his right arm. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure he didn't think he was over the try line.
No, he didn't think he was over the try line. Neither did he think he was going to offload the ball. And he's just body positioned. When he pokes his nose through the tackle, he just finds himself in that position, and the ball got locked onto a Hull FC body.
I just wonder why it wasn't tucked under his wing, but never mind. It doesn't matter now, because Hull have come up with an error in the shape of Jamie Shaw. It's his first game of the year against Wakefield on Monday. Here's Amor now.
Good spot from Ryan Morgan here. When you're jamming, you've got to make sure that you come up with the tackle. And he did just that, got in the eye line of Hull FC player.
And you know, when you play St Helens, they've got the best defence, so opportunities don't come around that often. You can't afford, and Hull FC can't afford to squander those opportunities.
Lomax goes down the left-hand side. Here is Theo Farge. Good tackling that by Danny Washbrook. Hull's only survivor of the 2006 grand final between these two clubs at Old Trafford. Danny Washbrook. There he is, number 17, just going out of your picture. And this is Richardson now. Another high kick to this right-hand side. Talanoa claims it cleanly and makes a little bit of progress forward this time, making sure he wasn't going to be bundled over the line and conceding another goal line dropout.
Well, they did well to get that ball, but them bombs are dropping in the perfect position. Not over the try line, so Hull FC can get 7 tackles and bring the ball back to the 20. They're dropping just below the try line, where the man who kicks the ball is hoping that Saints defender pushes Talanoa back over.
Albert Kelly turns the ball back on the inside to Brad Fash. Gets ball to the halfway line on tackle number 5, so expect the kick here. Sneed or Kelly. Goes to Kelly. Right-footed. High again. Should be easy for Regan Grayson, is.
Got good footwork, hasn't he? The youngster. Johnny Lomax in here now, goes short side, looking for Mark Percival. And then when Justin Holbrook would have had a little look at the game when Hull FC played against Wakefield, they do back off on this right-hand side, Eddie. They open themselves up.
What a solid run that was from Makinson. He left 3 or 4 men trailing in his wake, but Tommy Makinson has picked up a knock here. Immediately Albert Kelly signalled to the referee that there was a problem.
Let go of the ball, what a destructive run. He does this so many times. He loves to run from right to left. The left arm carry, shrugging players off. And Albert Kelly
hang on, mate. He's up.
And Makinson collide. I don't think there's anything.
Right.
Do you know what, I'll tell you, like, as a forward, and you see a winger come up with a run like that, that doesn't half lift your spirits up.
Right.
It's okay, Tommy Makinson. He's took a knock.
I think we're going to get a penalty for the high tackle.
You caught him on the head. Penalty.
There was contact with the head about 10 metres further back. And the video referees picked that up.
Onside, please.
It's that one there, is it, by Griffin?
That's the one.
We call that a tackle, do we? Just contact with the head.
Contact with the head, whilst making a tackle.
Wait.
So St Helens in good field position with Luke Thompson. Gets the ball away back to Richardson. He finds Wilkin. Wilkin straightens it up. Goes down the middle, does John Wilkin. Top tackler with 38 to his name against Widnes on Monday. Amor again now. Holds on once more. Gets to his feet and plays it. Roby. Short ball to Wilkin. Gives it a little bit of width to Richardson. He finds Lomax. Here is Percival. Percival grounded. 3 tackles gone. Just 10 metres shy of the whole line. What's the referee seen? Injured player.
There's a man down, Hull FC play down, just behind the play, the ball.
Jack Logan.
He comes in, I think he spots Matt Percival. Know how dangerous he is. Jams in here, tries to get him. Just gets left on the floor from the left foot of Percival. He steps around him.
Logan was on the wing for Doncaster last weekend in the 22-20 win at Newcastle. Only the one Super League appearance this year against Leeds, and he didn't play at all in 2017.
I don't know whether he catches an elbow. Percival's non-carrying arm may just catch him on the top of the shoulder, maybe a stinger. He's okay.
Yeah, thumbs up. He won't. Lee Radford also won't want him coming off after less than 7.5 minutes. Richardson again then for Saints, and Roby. Amor up the middle he goes. Not much progress made forward, still just outside the 10-metre line. Here now is Theo Farge, Lomax. Johnny Lomax trying to get himself through, and that was a very good tackle in defence by Sneed. Now it's Farge, kick again to the in-goal area. It's pinpoint this, claimed brilliantly by Zeb Taylor. And Zeb Taylor marks his 40th St Helens appearance with a try against Hull FC to make it 5 for the season. He got a try here last Friday against Wigan in the Good Friday derby, and he's just plucked that ball out of the air and touched it down. Simple try for Saints. Very good kick though, inch-perfect kick.
The kicking game has been absolutely excellent from Farge early on in this game. Zeb Taylor, he's one of those players that you love watching. He's 100% effort in everything that he does, whether he's carrying the ball or looking to offload or simply dominate in defence. But this is another part of his game. The discipline to stay onside and score this. Good effort.
Well, there was a time where teams used to kick the ball for the winger in the corner. Now they try and drop it on the half-back, the scrum half or standoff. 2 players in from the winger. That's the most popular place where they'll land a bomb. And they're hoping that their big, tall back rower can get over the top of a smaller half-back, catch the ball and ground it. Worked exactly to plan. And once again, it's score first.
Yes, 4-0 ahead. Danny Richardson here. Should add the extras. Richardson is the top goal kicker in Super League, and he adds 2 more points to the St Helens scoreline.
Perfect start from St Helens, but Hull SC will be disappointed, first of all, with their kick pressure. Obviously, Albert Kelly, faced with a much taller man, has a difficult task, and possibly Justin Holbrook has looked at that. But Hull FC, when you're a little bit tired, you don't pay attention to the detail, and the detail is crucial on kick pressure.
Applause for the try from Zeb Taylor from Justin Holbrook. He enjoyed a dream start to his St Helens coaching career at Newcastle's Magic Weekend last May. Saints won 45-0. It was an astonishing turnaround for a team that was beaten in the Cup by 53 points to 10 at Castleford the previous week. Dream start, as I say, for Justin Holbrook. Good start for him here tonight as well. His team 6 up inside the opening 10 minutes.
There's 2 young bucks meeting as well. Brad Fash, I think he's getting some attention. Luke Thompson, his team's playing well. He's getting some big raps, but Brad Fash isn't too far behind him.
And first start for Brad Fash tonight, number 20, after 36 appearances as a substitute. So this will go down as his full debut tonight. Nice kick from Percival, cleaned up by Shaw. They're trying to force him over the goal line. He did well to hold his ground. And that's not a bad effort from Jack Logan either.
Again, Eddie, I just think they're opening themselves up. Hull FC, they've got numbers. They don't need to back off in defence. They need to, if Percival's going to be getting the ball, you've got to get up, you've got to put pressure on him. The same with Grace. I just think they're backing off too much over on the right.
What you're also seeing, I suppose, there, Eddie, is that St Helens have conceded only 17 tries so far this season. Only one of those was when their opponents played the ball in their own half of the field. So just look at how they've started the first 10 minutes of this match. Total territorial dominance. Most of the play in the right half of the pitch. And hence the result, it makes it very, very difficult to Hull even have a sniff of a score.
Regan Grace scored in both the Easter fixtures. Richardson at the dummy half position, gets it away to Makinson. Here he goes on one of those runs of his, but Mickey Payer takes control. Brings him down with help from Washbrook. Roby. Wilkin. Good hit by Jordan Lane. Only 20 years of age. Jordan Lane. Roby. Thompson managed to hold on to that. Looked for a moment like he might have dropped it. Roby again. Farge. Further to the left-hand side to Lomax. Gets away from Kelly. Roby picks it up at the second attempt. We're keeping this going here with Richardson. Richardson looking to take them on. Houghton and Scott Taylor bring him down. Last tackle here then for Saints. Here comes another kick, one of those measured kicks to the line, claimed by Talanoa. Took a tumble as he went down, and there's a man injured just in front of him. It's Mark Sneed, isn't it? And Talanoa's not so clever either, so that kick has taken 2 of them out.
Let go of the ball.
Here's Sneed and Talanoa. You can see that Tommy Makinson's looking at catching that ball. Talanoa's boot actually comes down and just clips Mark Sneed here. Look, gets over the top of him, and I think he just lands on his own teammate. So that was John Wilkin who kicked that ball. There's also Danny Richardson, Theo Fives. They've got so many options, Saints. So on those last tackle plays, it's difficult for Hull FC to target the man kicking the ball. There you can see he just clips him there in his left boot. But again, look where the ball's landing, Eddie.
And that's where Hull have to work the ball away from. Catch a glimpse of the sky and the sunset at St Helens there in the background. Beautiful. Red sky at night, Shepherd's Delight.
Is that your weather report?
That's my weather report.
We've had one every week so
I know.
far.
Well, good weather due tomorrow then, with its sunset like that.
Excellent, excellent.
4, John, move and square. Hold the 10, Luke. Hold, go.
This is Houghton now.
Lay it on,
Flash gets it away. Sneed kicking early, going for a 40-20 here. Going for a 40-20 here, and Lomax has to be quick. The ball just didn't take a left bounce. Went all the way down the touchline, but it was a great kick for territory by Mark Sneed.
Look at that for the kick on the 4th play. Doesn't get the bounce that he's after. But the Hull FC chase was there as well. This is where they need to really try and get off the line, close them. Saints down. Saints now with some of the big guns just getting back behind the ball to bring it forward.
Regan Grace. That's as far as Brad Fash.
He started well, Brad Fash. He's into everything defensively.
4, move square, the kick, go.
Roby finds Wilkin. Current captain to immediate past captain there. This is Percival. And behind John Wilkin, gave himself up. Lost ground, lost momentum.
He hasn't given himself up.
He was just asking the referee,
Do I need to give myself
to go down?
Yeah.
Hold now. Hold, go.
Farge now. High. Shaw underneath it. Farge following up. Alongside the try scorer Zeb Teya. Hull having difficulty getting out of their own half in the opening quarter of an hour.
Well, that was a good take, wasn't it? Under some pressure as well at the back to get a
Get out of
penalty
their own
here.
half here.
1, 2, 3.
Well, this is what they're looking for, Eddie. They're looking for that cheap yardage. 3 players involved at the ruck. Good recognition from the fullback, Jamie Shaw, knowing that Luke Thompson, Kylie Moore and John Wilkin are all there. They only allowed 2 markers. One of those players needed to get back. Just gifted Hull FC 20 metres here.
Brad Fash again for Hull FC. Talanoa is on his way into the dressing room for some sort of attention. Washbrook meanwhile to Griffin. First time really that Hull have threatened the line. Jake Connor is on for Talanoa. This is Kelly. Fires the pass back to Sneed. Looks for the runner. And it's Jordan Lane. Houghton, 15 metres out. Scott Taylor, right down the middle he goes. 4 white jerseys around him, 3 anyway. Houghton comes to the right, and Kelly gets the ball away brilliantly to Washbrook. He then finds Houghton. Here is Mark Sneed. Sneed then to Jordan Lane, cut down by the challenge from Richardson. Houghton, last tackle here for Hull. Kick then from Sneed this time to the Saints goal line this time. Knocked forward, I think that though. It's Josh Griffin who'll touch it down. I think it might have been Connor who got there.
It's the last tackle.
And knocked it forward.
No try.
They have a no try decision
come
on
forward
the field.
First, please. In the air.
Got a couple of things to look at, Stuart. Onside, offside.
Yes,
and
onside.
then what happened in the air.
Onside from the kick, and then the incident in the air. Well, there's no sign of anyone on the right-hand side. They look like they're all behind and okay to compete in the challenge. The feeling on field is that this goes off one Hull player to another Hull player, so it certainly comes off one player and he's in front, So it comes off Connor, and it's knocked forward into the hands of Josh Griffin, who is actually offside. So this should result in a penalty 10 metres out to Hull. You can see there, touches Connor, and Griffin is always in front of him, so he ends up in an offside position. So this will be confirmed as no try, and it should be a penalty to St Helens.
So it's going to be no try, we know that, and they will probably restart with a penalty to St Helens.
Time back on.
No try was in front of the knock-on, as Griffin was in front of Jake Connor.
And Eddie, that was the point I was making. You don't get that many looks at the St Helens line. So Hull FC, Sneed, Kelly, all those distributors and decision makers need to be clinical. Will that cost Hull FC further down the track? We'll wait and see.
We will, and we'll wait and see whether Fatuli Talanoa will take any further part in this match. He has emerged from the dressing room. There he is, but Angela Powers has got some detail on what has been happening with him.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, well, we saw him go down, didn't we, on that try line? It looked like a little bit of a clash with one of his own players. But earlier on in the game, when over on the left edge, one of the Saints players was getting some attention. Over here, Talanoa was getting a look at by their physio. It looked like his right calf, and if you look at him on the bench, he does have some wrapping on that. So we'll check on him, see if he's fit to come back later on.
It would be a blow for Lee Radford. Here is Lomax. Lomax wide, they go to Percival. Percival's good on his feet, isn't he? He really is. Now he straightens it up. That's the last tackle, though, for St Helens. So here comes the kick from Richardson again. There's no Talanoa. Makinson has gifted it and then loses the possession forward. So Twimavavi will pick it up.
Look to kick the ball back into the field of play, didn't he? But Carlos Twimavavi, the former New Zealand Warrior, was aware of the danger from Saints. Everyone jogging on the spot, waiting for that play. No, Hull FC, when they played on Easter Monday, they made an awful lot of errors, and they go into this game knowing that they've got to respect the ball, they've got to get to the kick, and they've got to take the chances, like Barry said, when they do get down their Saints' line.
Still two.
Ball still alive. Griffin has it. Thought he had a try not long ago. Turned down rightly by video referee Ben Thaler. Houghton gives it then to Sneed. Thought about the kick, decided to run it, finds Kelly. Kelly then finds Shaw. Shaw to Connor. Oof, that was high from Percival.
I thought that was great play from Hull, wasn't it? The change of pace from Mark Sneed when he caught the ball, and he paused momentarily before then accelerating. And it just got the St Helens side a little bit stretched. Mark Percival concedes a penalty going high. They're not afraid, Hull here. They've been on the back foot, they've been under pressure for almost the first 20 minutes. And yet there's a mental toughness about them. They've not panicked, they haven't caved in. With Jake Connor out there, well, you've always got a chance.
Seems he's none the worse for the experience. There's a high shot from Percival. Jogging his way upfield to support this attack that should build here now with Kelly. And Josh Bowden has come into the match off the bench.
Hold, go.
Houghton again. Sneed caught that on the fly, tries to go around. Richardson breaks the tackle. Good job that Morgan was there to bring him down. Shaw is waiting 3 meters out. Fires the pass then to Scott Taylor. Taylor then to Houghton. Houghton along the line finds Washbrook. Washbrook checks back inside.
Moves it. Square. Go off the left.
Houghton again. Back it comes to Taylor. Here's Kelly. Good tackle by Peyroux, but he gets the ball away just the same to Bowden. Roby, Thompson and Wilkin deal with the threat with a little bit of help from Amor and Lomax. Look where they are though, Hull. Houghton to Sneed, stabs the kick in, comes off the foot of Richardson and gobbled up gratefully by Ryan Morgan.
Well, some good work from Hull FC. That's the decision for Lee Radford's team. Do we play hot, do we play offloads in the right part of the field, of course, and try and play Saints' game, or try and grind down the St Helens side by completing, kicking, trying to buy some field position.
This is Brad Fash.
Fash down, looks like he's took a knock.
He's been all action here, Brad Fash, hasn't he? Trying to get Makinson, he takes a knock in the head. from the boot of Makinson.
Oh. Nasty cut inside the mouth by the looks of things.
Well, they'll be hoping that's all it is, they're not a fractured jaw here.
You might look at that and think, Tommy Makinson, he should be able to deal with Brad Fash, but you've got an Arctic lorry trying to stop a quad bike. The quad bike's going at 100 miles an hour, the Arctic lorry's about 40 miles an hour, and the agility and the evasion of those wingers just frighten and scare to death those big fellas in the middle.
Unique, Barry.
Yeah.
Salford Warrington tomorrow, 3:10, Sky Sports Arena. And immediately following that, at 5:10, same place, the Catalan Dragons against Wigan. 3 matches tomorrow, we're bringing you 2 of them. And Hull KR Widnes tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. 3 very important matches for teams who are currently at the wrong end of the table. This is a top 5 match. Saints on top. Hull are 5th, and Farge with the kick to the sideline, but picked out of the air by Jack Logan.
It wasn't a good kick, that. I didn't think that was far too easy for Jack Logan. He didn't really have to move for that ball. It wasn't kicked behind him, as we see Brad Fash now led from the field of play from the physio.
Luke, move, get square.
Chris Green's going to be coming on, see how he is, and Hull FC get a penalty here. Seems like the last 5 minutes seems to be going Hull FC's way.
Yeah, they're getting into the game, aren't they? They're gradually wearing their way into it, only 6-0 down.
Well, they need that field position, Eddie. They can score tries. There's only Wigan and Saints that have scored more than them this year, but they do need that field position.
Off he goes, Brad Fash. It's a medical report needed. Chris Green is out there now then for Fash, and that's his first involvement.
Go, keep it on the calls, Luke.
There's Houghton to the right-hand side, and Kelly goes short and finds Washbrook. Good servant, Danny Washbrook, isn't he? Oh, he played it almost to nobody there. Good job that Logan was alert.
Good pick-up as well. One-handed pick-up.
Go.
Houghton, Bowden, Houghton again. Sees Taylor, gives it to Sneed. Sneed then spreads it wide. This is Jordan Lane. Going nowhere with Dominic Peyrou on his back. Twimavavi, Sneed stabs the kick in, and that's easy though for Lomax.
Well, they may be without Ben Barber, the best player in Super League so far this season, but from what I've seen in 21.5 minutes, Johnny Lomax has done nothing wrong. In fact, he's been all of the places that Ben Barber would have been, if not better. He's provided Mark Percival with the early ball, those running threats, which I'm sure would be one of the goals that St Helens have at the start of the match, to give the left centre opportunity. There's nothing missing at the moment.
Penalty, hands in at the ruck.
Josh Bowden just trying to control Luke Douglas. Again, look at him, he won't give up his front. There's a bit of a wrestle going on in that play. And you can see that he's saying he's trying to hold on to my arm, trying to spin me over, and the tackle was complete.
Yeah, Ben Barber, just another word about him. He is box office, isn't he, in 2018? But Johnny Lomax is no mug. 2011 Young Player of the Year, for instance.
He's an accomplished fullback, isn't he? He's a classy fullback, Johnny Lomax.
Here goes Morgan Knowles now. Played 30 of St Helens 32 last year, Morgan Knowles. An impressive year, picking up where he left off in 2017. This is Luke Douglas now. Scottish international. Will stand and play the ball to Roby. Here is Knowles. Now Richardson. Lomax, good hands. Makinson down the line has backed himself. Shaw comes to the rescue, but Makinson gets to him and ensures that Saints will get the ball back from the goal line dropout.
Again, Eddie, what Saints can do is recognise what's in front of them. If there's players and there's space on the outside, they'll get the ball to the outside. Tommy Makinson's got to make a decision straight away. Do a kick it, do a try and go for the line myself. Well, he backs himself with a good kick, forces the goal line dropout, and it's just that pressure that Saints are used to building under this man, Justin Holbrook.
Well, about this point in the match, St Helens used to bring on the big Alex Wormsley, the big impact substitute. Well, he won't be here at the moment. He's obviously out injured for quite some time. Luke Douglas is one sub that they've used, but Lou McCarthy scars because the other. And I think if Saints are to kick on now, they need him to provide that big impact.
And there he is, Louis McCarthy. Scarisbrooke, his 300th Super League appearance, and a substitute way back in 2005 for Hull FC in an Academy Grand Final against Wigan. He's come a long, long way since then. Here at Saints via Harlequins, of course. This is Roby! And Roby is short. He's pushed back by Shaw on the ground with a bit of help from Houghton. Peyroux fires the pass to McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He's tackled inevitably, I suppose, by Danny Houghton. Roby switches the direction of play off the fingertips of Lomax. Had Griffin taken that ball, that was maybe a 100-metre try beckoning.
Well, it seemed to open up for Johnny Lomax, didn't it? Look at this. And all of a sudden, Griffin goes for the ball. He can't take it in as well. But nice little play. Dummies to go one side. James Roby, knowing that Johnny Lomax is coming, flashing round the back on the right.
It's a set play. They've had time to construct that. They'll often have a one-word call, and everybody knows where they're going, but different players, and Johnny Lomax still settling into that full-back's role. Just mistimed his run slightly.
Washbrook brings it out to the 20-metre line. Houghton is his dummy half. Here is Connor. Knowles and Farge bring him down. It's Logan. It's Kelly. This is Taylor. Ooh, that looked forward to Bowden. It did from this angle. Not at ground level, so the officials let them play on.
That was preempted, that, from Scott Taylor to Bowden.
Here is again Josh Bowden.
Hold me. Hold James, hold.
Seventh appearance off the bench this year. Ball goes back to Sneed. The kick, left-footed. Up to Regan Grace. Now then, Regan Grace is exciting. He gets people excited watching him.
His acceleration into the tackle and his footwork, everything's at speed. With the back three from Saints as Percival that gets into the action as well. Nice and straight.
Zeb Taylor, it's his try. And the conversion from Danny Richardson that separates these two sides as we approach the 26th minute. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook here. Pulled down. It was Chris Green, and it was also Bowden in the tackle. Farge attacking the line, gives it to Lomax. Lomax taking them on. Kelly with a flying challenge on his back. Last one coming up for Saints then. Here's Richardson. Trying something different. They're going to try and run this, the Saints. Maybe a prod through the back. There it is. And the ball beats everybody. Regan Grace was after it, but Jack Logan will bring it back to the 20-metre zone. And off we go again.
He had to be confident then, didn't he, Jack Logan? Nice little kick from Richardson. And the short kicking game's been causing some problems, but Jack Logan knew that there was too much weight on that kick then.
Scott Taylor goes down 40 metres away from his own line. Houghton. Here comes Chris Green again. He's featured in the last 5. Chris Green missed the previous 4. Bowden, that was deemed to be a forward pass, and that one didn't look as bad as the other one.
No, just trying to get over the advantage line, and it just comes out to step too far from Danny Houghton, just trying to fix young Morgan Knowles, trying to get him interested. The first marker creates the space round the back, and Lee Radford knows that that's gifted the opposition the ball, and they're not getting to the kick, which in turn denies them of around 20 to 30 metres.
Was that a forward pass, or was it a belated decision because the official thought maybe I missed one earlier? I'm not sure that ball actually travels forward there. I mean, the rules are you don't have to pass the ball backwards, it just can't be passed forwards.
I think it probably just drifted slightly forward out of his hands. It's Robert Hicks that's called it. You see that there, it just seems to go forward out of his hands there as Danny Houghton keeps running. The call came from Robert Hicks, the referee.
Scrum goes down on halfway as a result of that. Nakinson to Lomax. Takes on Connor on his inside shoulder.
Surrender!
And then Lomax is spun around. Just to delay the play the ball for a second or two longer. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook again. Down the middle he goes, and down to the floor he goes, with Roby waiting behind him. Roby away from one, then gets the pass away to Farge. Farge is tackled by Chris Green. Roby again. Richardson wide to Zeb Taylor, looking for try number 2. Kelly dealt with the threat. Roby again. Richardson. Richardson to Farge. Drops the pass off to McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Last one coming up then, this set for Saints. Roby. Richardson, will he stab it in to the in-goal area? No, he'll take the tackle. Turnover on the whole line.
He was caught in two minds, wasn't he? Whether to kick the ball, whether to run it. He was looking left and right. Saints are looking dangerous. There's an awful lot of options. Whenever the man is going at the line, they've got options outside.
I think that's outstanding defence. It looks as though the tide has been going from left to right, doesn't it, for almost half an hour. Yeah, they've only conceded one try. How much longer they can cling on for, I'm not sure. They're almost out there. The tide's moving and getting closer to the Hull supporters.
James, hold his 10.
Green gets to his feet and plays the ball. That's Sneed. Chiwimavavi just shrugs off the challenge.
Tommy, move! Go.
Josh Griffin.
4. Move, Luke.
Morgan Knowles and Douglas to him this time.
Go for it.
Houghton. Kelly. From inside the 40, he goes for a 40-20, does Albie Kelly. And if he's not quick, Makinson, and he is, and he's acrobatic, and he gives it to Johnny Lomax, saves a 40-20.
That was a 40-20 for sure, and Tommy Makinson and the fullback in perfect communication saved St Helens.
Move!
Tremendous stuff.
Wait, go.
Here is Makinson again. Gets as far as Chiwimavavi.
Hold, go.
Roby. Whoops! Ryan Morgan goes without it. Well, it might have been a 40-20 a moment ago. This is as good as.
Well, that's it, Eddie. Even though they don't get the 40-20, it's the field position that they're after. And that field position just spooks Ryan Morgan, because he knows that what's up in front of him is a big Hull FC set of 6 waiting to dominate him. So even though the kick's not there from Kelly, Makinson does a tremendous job to keep it in the field of play. It's the field position that Hull FC want to attack him, and that's through the defence.
Come on, guys, let's get in.
So the scrum will go down. Saints won here 19-12 last July. This is the 49th meeting between the two. In 48 previously, Saints have won 28, and they've lost 17. There have been 3 draws. One of the draws here in 2013, 22 apiece. Griffin hits the deck, plays the ball to Chiwimavavi. That's Chris Green.
Hold, James. Hold, go.
Houghton. Sneed and Kelly. Well met, but still he gets away from it just the same. This is Shaw. Jamie Shaw looking for an opening.
3.
It isn't there. Luke Douglas saw to that. Now then, Houghton. Good scamper from dummy half. Gets the pass away. Oh! Jordan Lane was over the line and could have scored.
That's another one, Eddie. That's another one. It's a lovely line. He just meets and wrong foots Danny Richardson. Sees the try line, thinks he's in, but last-ditch effort.
Morgan Knowles. And
there you go.
Frustration for Lee Radford. 39. He's the youngest coach in the Super League. Can he claim a grand final appearance before he turns 40? Back-to-back top 3 finishes. Previous 2 seasons, plus, of course, the Wembley wins. The Holy Grail is the Super League grand final for Hull FC. Brad Fash, I'm told, has passed his concussion test, so he will be able to come back for Lee Radford. There he is, just waiting his call. Meanwhile, this is Tommy Makinson for St Helens. Farge gets it wide. Teya, good hands. Percival. And Regan Grace is going over the sideline, I think. He tried to get him over, but he did well.
Did well to stay in, trying to play the way out of trouble. Hull FC working extra hard from inside. Yeah, pushing Saints towards the sideline.
Hold now. Hold, go.
Here now is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
He's been good. He's big impact from the bench, like Phil Clark was talking about in the studio before the game.
4. Go.
Luke Douglas.
Last. Move.
Will play the ball to Roby.
Keep off the ball, Josh.
Richardson. Again, kick down this
backwards, still lost.
Right-hand side and then lost by Richardson.
That's gone forward.
It'll be the turnover, won't it, this?
He didn't look confident under that ball then, Josh Griffin. When that ball goes up
In
here.
line with the touchy.
It's a good contest from Morgan trying to get the ball back to Danny Richardson.
Little nudge from Tommy Makinson then. Well, both players are in the air, but you're right, Tez. I'm sure St Helens will take a look at that. I think we'll have another goal as soon as we can.
Josh Griffin, meanwhile, for Hull FC.
Movement. Go. James Roby's good. Peru.
Chwimavavi.
Good now anyway.
He's making his 60th Hull appearance tonight, by the way. The Samoan, Carlos Chwimavavi, who's played the ball there to Houghton. Here's Kelly. It's a short ball away to Connor. He was nearly through. It was an important tackle that by Roby. Here's Kelly again. Gives it to Bowden. Bowden gives it short. Sneed. Jordan Lane. Peru. Knowles. Richardson. Down he goes. Last tackle coming up for Hull FC. It's Houghton to Sneed. Another kick out wide to the right-hand side. Sneed hits the deck after he took that. The ball is knocked forward. Regan Grace has it anyway. And he then continues it on. It's a 0 this. Free play. Theo Farge takes the tackle. 0 tackle called.
But you sense both these sides are almost at the breaking point in terms of fatigue here now. As we've said, we've mentioned many times, the third game in 8 days. It's been a pretty, obviously a low-scoring first half. Very few stoppages, few mistakes. The ball's gone end to end. But I think there's a break in play coming here, and somewhere there is more points before we get to this half-time break.
Well, Roby almost got them away then. This is Farge. Saints going left again with Taya. Here is Mark Percival, danger man, down the left-hand channel for the Saints. Seb Taya gets to his feet eventually. Seb Taya, rather, is the dummy half as Percival gets to his feet eventually. This is Morgan Knowles now.
Last. Move, mate, me. Hold now.
Third game in 8 days. No sign as yet of any fatigue. Richardson with another nice kick.
Play on.
Wants it right on the line. Griffin with work to do, and doesn't he do it well?
Excellent work. As he was putting the pressure on Danny
and
Richardson.
then gets the penalty.
Josh Griffin should take a bow there. That was an excellent kick. He was under pressure from Makinson and his teammates. He catches this ball, and he just doesn't. He's not content with just taking the tackle. He knows that the side have been under pressure. He's got to get back in the field of play. Gets rid of Morgan, beats Peru, and earns his side a penalty.
And Hull get a little bit of field position because they start this now.
Go.
35 metres away from their own line. Brad Fash has returned to the fray as predicted.
Move. Hold now, hold, go.
Down the short side, Hull come with Chwimavavi.
Anytime they're in this channel, Hull FC, they're targeting.
Great offload. Houghton. Kelly. Hull's go-to man, Albert Kelly. Percival behind him. Theo Farge in front of him. This is Washbrook. Bowden, back it comes to Brad Fash. Now then they have a bit of space maybe to exploit down the left-hand side, but Chwimavavi goes infield.
Move! Omega square. Hold, go.
Houghton again. Another good run from the dummy half. This is Washbrook. Washbrook nearly through again, but gets the ball away. Houghton, Fash. Now there's a chance. Chwimavavi. Fed by Abdul he was. Washbrook. Good St Helens defence. Connor. They can't break through them. Connor dumped to the ground by Zeb Taya. Ball comes free. It's a knock on. I think he was more annoyed with the tackle, and he was a bit concerned about that, more concerned about the tackle than retaining possession, and he can't believe Robert Hicks hasn't given him a penalty.
Eddie, that's outstanding defence from St Helens. They keep the line, they keep the nerve, keep the composure, and at the right point and right time they get in, affect the tackle, and Jake Connor is more interested in pushing out.
And Percival had a little pull at ball as well.
To be fair to him, there is arms
Lifted,
around the ball.
his legs are in the air, one of his legs is in.
His legs are, but his hips are lower, and that's the thing the referee will be looking at. His hips are always lower than his head.
I guarantee you Lee Radford will say to Jake Connor, it doesn't matter, just get up and play your ball.
Stay up, guys, there's a head injury.
Lee Radford has seen something amusing, a little look out of the side of the eye at the big screen.
We talked about
Jake Connor found it amusing.
No, and we talked about Jake Connor before the game, myself and Tez. He's gaining a reputation by being almost a mosquito on everybody's ear. He's that irritating and annoying. He uses that to his advantage. He draws players in, and off the back of that, he's got some quality stuff. And every now and then, he's going to cop an unfortunate one because people don't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Percival with a decent run, makes 12 metres on that first tackle, but then loses the ball.
Well, this is a square up, isn't it?
Loses it on the
Mark
floor.
Percival loses the ball. He was the man that stripped the ball from Jake Connor. So it's a match-up, and you can see the arm is in there from Sneed. The ball's dislodged from the side of Mark Percival. Well, just for that minute.
It's like the counter-pressing you see in the top football teams now, isn't it? Even without the ball, they're working hard to get the ball back immediately, and that's what Hull have done here. They form the scrum quickly, ball comes out, they form the scrum quickly, they sense with just over 2 minutes to half-time. There's a chance, even though they've been outplayed for almost 40 minutes, they could go in level.
Brad Fash goes down, tackle number 1. 2 minutes from half-time. Big 2 minutes in the match. Sneed gets it away to Jamie Shaw. He goes past 1, he goes past 2. He can't get away from Tommy Makinson. Here's Tuimavavi. Now it is Mark Sneed. And then Abdul finds Kelly, finds Washbrook. Washbrook tackled by Theo Farge. Jake Connor loops the pass to Kelly. He finds Bowden. Back inside the 10 metres they go. 4 tackles gone though. This St Helens defence thus far has stood firm. Can they again here as Bowden tries to burrow his way through and the ball is knocked on. And St Helens do stand firm.
Good hit again on Bowden. You know when you play against players like Bowden, you've got to make sure that you're committed when you go into contact. And I think it was Morgan Knowles. He is a dominant defender. Even though he's only 21 years of age. You look at the games that he's got under his belt, Eddie. 60 games, first team games he's got. For a 21-year-old, that's an awful lot.
It is, he's a Welsh international as well. Best year of his career so far in 2017. And a try against Hull in the magic victory, 45-0 last May. Just over a month away from this year's magic weekend, of course. Back in Newcastle again. Half a minute remaining, meanwhile, of this, the first half of the opening round 10 match in the Betfred Super League 2018. And Roby knows there's only 20 seconds remaining. And so does Saints. They're running this. Here goes Zeptea. He's through one, but good job that Kelly was there. 15 seconds to the half-time siren. Roby is pressing the pedal to the metal. Gives it then to Percival. Percival is halted. Will he get to his feet in time to play this ball? Yes, he will just. Richardson goes high. Shaw is underneath it. Shaw claims it. And surely Shaw will take the tackle, which he does, and that will be half-time. So just the one score in the first half, been pretty tight, and the score came from that man Zeptea in the 7th minute. His try and Richardson's successful conversion gives us a 6-0 half-time scoreline here at St Helens Totally Wicked Stadium. Saints on top, Hull are 5th. Nothing much to choose between these two sides, just the one try. Only 6 points. And so I hope that John Wells has been searching for the action, because he's going to be giving us the half-time report when we come back.
I'm Dan, and I'm his data self. We are inseparable. I'll have the steak, please.
Oh, me too.
Medium rare. Medium rare. He's what companies see when they're deciding whether to offer me credit. And if I need a loan or a credit card, he'll show me what I can get.
Get to know your data self with Experian and make it work for you.
taking the law into his own hands.
I'm gonna hunt them down one by one. Death wish.
Blue shoes.
Blue shoes.
Red ball.
Red ball.
Green rabbit.
Green rabbit. Blue shoes, red ball.
Let's just focus. Blue beetle.
Blue beetle.
Orange key.
Orange key.
You got it?
Yeah, got it. Situation update. 39-year-old male. Significant blood loss. Respiratory rate 20. BP 80. Over 60.
Listening is a key skill that will set you up for your future career. Learn more with Barclays Life Skills.
Imagine if you had the power to call the shots. New Build Your Bet from Coral. Build your bet the way you want. Choose what you want to bet on and watch your price grow as you add to your stats. Build your bet from Coral. Why request a bet when you can get your price instantly?
Win a share of £10,000 in cash with our new Build Your Bet leaderboard at coral.co.uk.
When the fun stops, stop.
393 or 42?
393 is quicker.
But the 42 does drop you closer.
That's what I mean, like 42.
Come on! Make a decision, or your journey terminates here. You've at least made a decision under PPI, right? The deadline is the 29th of August, 2019. Do it now!
That's right. If you've had a mortgage or had loans and credit cards, then you may have had PPI.
Last stop for the PPI. Ding, ding.
Call 0800 101 8800.
Garcia is the Masters champion.
Watch all 4 days of the Masters live on Sky Sports Golf.
I am not hiding. I'm not defeated.
So why the hesitation?
Rage. He expects to get all of it. Everything. They're meat eaters.
Brutal. You and your wife have no secrets? Oh, I'm certain some are still lurking.
Be cold and act. Don't get hung up on emotion.
What has the stronger pull? Fear or money?
The brand new season of Billions, Thursday at 9, exclusively on Sky Atlantic. And if you missed any of the episodes so far, you can catch up with the season from the start with Catch Up TV.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Will we see Man City crowned Premier League champions tomorrow, hosting Manchester United, 5 p.m. on Sky Sports Premier League. They're going to have to get out that midweek defeat at the hands of Liverpool out of their systems. Liverpool in action before them, 11:30 a.m. the Merseyside derby. Sky Sports Premier League for that one. Doubleheader on Sunday. Champions League places are on offer. Arsenal hosting Southampton, 1:30 p.m. start for that. And then Chelsea take on West Ham, 4:15. Again, Sky Sports Premier League. Well, table-topping St Helens are the hosts here tonight. Hull FC, the visitors, and Zeb Tea's 5th try of the season separates them at half-time. Tea scoring within the first 10 minutes, converted by Danny Richardson. No further scores in this match, but it has been incredibly entertaining. We've had St Helens throwing plenty at Hull FC. Hull FC absorbing that, John, and then throwing plenty back at the home side.
Yeah, they have. I think this is the 3rd game out in the Easter period. Always going to be a little fatigue in there, and it probably explains why we've only had the 1 try. It was a decent work try, and St Helens have had plenty of looks at this Hull FC line. I think Hull will be the happier of the 2 teams at half-time, despite being behind on the scoreboard, and I'll try my best to explain why when we have a look at the analysis.
Before you do, I just want to go back to a point you talked about. It is the 3rd game in 8 days, and there will be fatigue, but are you seeing that manifest itself in the way they're playing? We're not seeing a huge amount of errors, are we?
No, it's not physically. It's decision making. That's the stuff that normally goes first. Communication, decision making. When you're talking about fatigue, a couple of opportunities that Saints had to post more points, and perhaps a quicker pass from Johnny Lomax would have put Ryan Morgan in the clear on a 10th or 11th minute, just before the Taya try, in fact. couple of issues there that may come back to haunt them later on.
What you have seen that is fairly evident is St Helens targeting the ruck, particularly any late retreating defenders for Hull FC, and they're doing it with a variety of different attacking plays. Take us through them, John.
Well, they have. They're mixing it up really well and making these first 3 defenders either side of the ruck think. So the nice little tip-on play before the line to a supporting runner. They've been getting out and hitting third man with an option off John Wilkin to hit the edges. This has been really effective for them. Phil Clark said total territorial dominance inside the opening quarter of the game. How? And how are they getting so many tries from within the opposition half? This is how. Because guys like Luke Thompson really ramping up and taking very, very unforgiving lines and committing defenders. Off the back of this, they get extra meters as well because they're catching people flat. Have a look at what happens here. You've got Mickey Payer coming back. Here's the next runner. This is Tommy Makinson. He's actually going to get on the inside of Mickey Payer because of that late retreat, because of that dominant play from Percival there. I mean, the run itself is something else, and it is a fantastic play with Tommy Makinson, but the foundations are there, and that's the reason, Brian, that they're getting down the other end of the field, and they are posting tries, and it is tries in Super League, as Phil said. All but one that they have scored has come from within the opposition half. That's why, because they're putting themselves in this area of the field. It's executed really well. Zeb Taylor out jumps Albert Kelly, 6-0.
As I said, Hull FC have come up with some answers in defence as well, evidenced by just 6 points for St Helens. This is a Hull FC side that are conceding 20 points on average a game, so they're in a very good position, John, to kick on and win this game if they can continue to defend like this clip you're going to show us.
I think any team that comes up against St Helens have a huge focus on the guys inside the circle and the area of the field that we're talking about, and that is that shift from right to left. So these guys, the other side of the ball, that they've got the line against them, the right edge defence for Hull FC tonight, they will have done some homework. This is why I think they're within striking distance and they will be the happier team in the dressing room, because they've done the homework and it's come off for them. So there's a couple of things to look at here. First of all, I want you to keep an eye. We'll come back to this guy right at the end, Mickey Payer. Big, bad prop forward, big guy, not necessarily the most mobile, but great attitude. Now, and as this unfolds, what they're able to do is suck Albert Kelly in here and release Johnny Lomax out the back. Now, there's some really, really smart play by this man, Jake Connor. He knows that Albert Kelly's stuck. He knows that there are now 3 players against his 2, a winger that's back and Jake.
What's the worst thing he could do right now?
Worst thing he could do now is jump up here and try and shut that down, because it just becomes a 2-on-1 with a winger back. So what he does I'll clear everything, he uses the space that he's got on the field. He's got 20-25 metres to give up. Better to give up metres than to give up a clean break. So you watch what Jake Connor does. This is the man we're talking about. Now he backs up, he gives metres, he allows time for Albert Kelly on the inside to get out to Johnny Lomax. Look at Jake Connor, he's basically facing his own try line. And because of that, Albert Kelly's able to get there. Now, second part to this.
Yeah, you said Mickey Payer, you're impressed by his actions in this play. What was so impressive?
So he came from the play the ball, don't forget. It's basically not switching off. There's the coaching parlance is stay on your bike, keep pedaling the bike. Doesn't switch off, doesn't walk. He actually pushes inside the defender here to present an important line. This guy's super dangerous coming back on the inside. He's looking for gaps. What Hull FC do really well is not present any. No one jumps out the line. No one's shooting in there to try and grab Percival. They're patient with it. This is where the homework works. And then the man who finally gets him, Mickey Payer, that's a reward for keeping his concentration. That's why they'll be happy.
Both had perfect Easters. Both have said during the week how one extra win would mean so much. So both have come into this game having won 3 consecutive matches. John, who gets the 2 points?
St Helens increasingly frustrated. Hull FC have the opportunity to nick this. There is nothing in this game, believe me, and they will be very, very happy with that.
Yep, no doubt about that. Just 6 points behind St Helens at half-time. And, of course, no Ben Barber for St Helens. And Justin Holbrook was able to slot Johnny Lomax straight in there. He's in the coaching box beside our studio, and let me tell you, he got animated during that first 40 minutes. Ben Barber just behind him. And Lee Radford, as John said, his side are in a very good position. They trail by just 6 points at half-time and have had plenty of chances. Jordan Lane dropping the ball over the line when under a degree of pressure. Well, can the visitors rescue this match? 40 minutes to do that, and 2 very important Betfred Super League points on offer. Commentary team standing by the other side of this break.
chase on him. Luque with a drop goal. That's it. He has kicked it.
There was a time when more meant better. When possessions possessed us. When everything meant everything. Times change.
Okay, Sarah, you have exactly 1 minute.
Okay, get in the raft, paddle the fox across. No, and I can only take one of them at a time. Drop off the chicken, come back for the fox.
Would that work?
No, that won't work with the gale 9 blowing in. I can't get up there to slow it down. I need to remotely access the turbine, rotate it, and then pitch the blades out of the wind.
Problem solving is a key skill that will set you up for your future career. Learn more with Barclays Life Skills.
Unbelievable.
Too right. You gotta love Betway's new 4 to score feature.
What?
Because it's free to play every week. You simply predict the first teams to score in the top 4 English leagues.
Something?
I will. I could win 25 grand.
Hurry!
You don't need to ask me twice. Done. I've got a good feeling about this.
Really?
Oh, electrifying stuff.
Oh, by the love of the game. Betway.
Why is he taking the law into his own hands?
Hey!
I'm gonna hunt them down one by one. Death wish.
I'm Dan, and I'm his data self. We are inseparable. I'll have the steak, please.
Oh, me too.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
He's what companies see when they're deciding whether to offer me credit. And if I need a loan or a credit card, he'll show me what I can get.
Get to know your data self with Experian and make it work for you.
Over the years, I've always tried to break new ground in vacuum technology. Now with this powerful digital motor, a new era begins. Dyson has reinvented the cord-free vacuum. Definitely not a little portable. This is now your big machine to deep clean right through the home. So powerful, in fact, we've stopped developing corded vacuums.
Look at this world. A world where dreams come true. Our world.
I am a survivor, and I will do whatever it takes to avoid my fate.
The future is ours. The world is ours.
Wyatt told me Harry was dead. Cooper told me he was alive. Is he alive?
The brand new series Deep State continues. Thursday at 9 on Fox.
And perhaps weave a little bit of magic. It's a Super League Friday. We're at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and it is Saints against Hull. Tomorrow morning, the NRL continues. That's Rugby League from Australia. West Tigers against Melbourne Storm, 6 o'clock in the morning, Sky Sports Arena. And if you missed that and you want to catch up with everything that happens down under this weekend, NRL Try Time, good hour to watch, 8 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena on Wednesday. Half-time here, though, and the Saints with their noses in front just. They lead by 6 points to 0. What does the second half have in store for us? Hull are about to defend. Saints will kick off, attacking from right to left. Hull have won 3 in a row. Catalan at home, Hull KR and Wakefield. We were anxious to keep that run going when they pulled into St Helens this afternoon. Richardson gets the second half in motion then. A deep kick-off it is too, and it bounces off the legs of Shaw, and he has to react quickly to get the possession from the onrushing James Roby.
They did well to get that, didn't they? And I'm sure a lot of the talk in the changing room, especially from Hull FC, from Lee Radford, would have been talking about how good they were defensively in that first half. They were really challenged, but they were coming up with the answers, just conceding one try, and that was from a kick. They went into the game conceding an average of 20 points, and I'm sure the confident side will be Hull FC.
Saints 4 points clear at the top of the Betfred Super League at the moment, looking to extend that to 6 points ahead of Wigan's trip to Perpignan tomorrow. Kelly with a high kick here that has tested Lomax, but he has come up with the goods. 10 out of 10 from Johnny Lomax in the test. And Theo Farge is the dummy half. Gives it then to Makinson.
Hold for the foot, Josh.
Down he goes. It's solid defence from both sides here tonight so far. You would expect that from St Helens, being top of the table. Hull have certainly scrubbed up in their defensive duties.
When you talk about St Helens' defence, if you remember just a few weeks ago we came here and we watched Leeds score 5 tries against them. The Saints will get wide and look like they make some ground here. Yes, they do.
They do with Dominic Peyrou. He gets the ball away. It bounces somewhat untidily to Makinson, who has a little slip, but then picks up pace. Ooh, I tell you what, Bowden could have been penalised for a flop then. Robert Hicks doesn't blow the whistle. Theo Farge with a crossfield kick looking for Percival. And it's a knock-on by Jack Logan.
Well, just enough pressure, wasn't it? Because Mark Percival's in the vicinity, his hand goes up. Jack Logan is trying to focus and catch this ball, knowing that again it's a pinpoint kick, just landing a couple of metres from Hull FC's line.
I think Jake Connor just getting back level with the last player who touched it, Jack Logan. Otherwise he could have been penalised for offside there.
They're a good side when they play off the cuff. That break from Peyrou, looking to offload the ball at will.
Stand that way. You've got to stand that way.
Head feed to St Helens at this scrum.
It is one of the things you identified in the first half, Tez. John Wells at half-time. You need to be a little bit more aggressive defensively, Hull FC. There you go.
Straight through them goes Mark Percival for his 10th try of the season in 10 appearances this year. He's included 2 hat-tricks. Poor old Jack Logan, the mistake on the other side of the field is costly. It was a wicked kick, to be fair, and there were people in his eye line. Jack Logan drops the ball, and the very next tackle, over they go for the try, courtesy of Mark Percival. Saints with a 10-0 advantage.
Well, it comes off the back of that mistake, but Lee Radford and his side will consider this a soft penalty. Backing off defenders, presenting chinks, gaps, a defensive line that's like the hind leg of a dog, and there's enough space to go through for St Helens.
Well, you can see that Johnny Lomax has eyes for Mark Sneed, who starts to back off as soon as you're defending near your try line and you're on your heels. Someone with the ability like Mark Percival, who's running at speed, who's hitting a good line, he's going to score a try when he's so close to that line.
Well, Mark Percival, 2 tries in the 28-6 win against Widnes on Monday. 2 tries against Hull in the home win here last July. And Richardson impressive again with the boot. They lead by 12 points to 0. Well, St Helens appear to be coping A-OK without the star man, Ben Barber, and he is on the sideline here talking to Angela Powers.
He is indeed. Great start to the second half. That Mark Percival scoring. You're not scoring this week, though, on the sidelines for the first time.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed not to be playing tonight. I fell a bit ill earlier in the week after the Widnes game, and didn't get to train with the boys all week, and I thought it just wasn't right to play and try and force myself. So look, disappointed not playing tonight, but the boys are doing a great job.
They're doing a great job, 12-0, but it's not over yet. There's a long way to go, and energy levels are going to be really important.
Oh yeah, definitely, and Hull FC is one of them teams you can't go quiet for a bit. They've got some great talent there, and look, we're going to have to play this game for the whole 80. We spoke about it all week, about playing the full 80, and hopefully we do it tonight.
They're not showing much fatigue physically, but it's concentration. Both coaches have said at half-time that's going to be key. Do you think that?
Yeah, definitely. I know both sides are hurting after I guess the Easter weekend. So look, it comes down to who wants it the most, and the boys are showing some good fight at the moment.
You won't get a hat-trick of man of the match, though.
Oh, no, look, as I said, I'm very disappointed not to be out there tonight. The side I haven't got to play yet, so, yeah, look, as I said, hopefully they can get through this one and enjoy a few days off.
Thanks very much, Ben. Back to you, Eddie.
Yes, Ben Barber, the man of the match here on Friday against Wigan and at Widnes on Monday. 2 in a row. He doesn't make it 3 in a row. The kicking game tonight, though, from the likes of Richardson and Farge has been outstanding for the Saints. Well, have been undone a little bit by all of that. Some tries have come from kicks.
If Hull needs somebody to be outstanding to get them back into the game, that's pretty obvious now. And I think I made reference to the fact that Leeds scored 5 tries here, primarily because Joel Moon was such a danger. The man who's just kicked the ball, Albert Kelly, could be a dangerous threat here. In fact, he needs to be as a running option. Obviously, that was his kicking game there. He's put the ball high to gain some ground. But in an attacking situation, he has the potential to unlock Saints. Excellent defence.
It's an uphill battle right now, though, for Hull with their ambition to win 4 in a row. Here is Makinson again. That's a good run. Logan, in the end, with Connor, managed to get him down. Logan is hurt, left lying on the floor. Gets up quickly, though, as Regan Grace takes it on for the Saints. Hull haven't won outside the city boundary of Hull this year. They've lost at Salford, Leeds, at Castleford and Wigan in Australia. Their only away win was at Hull Kingston Rovers last Friday.
Hold it, Capper. Go, well done.
So this is Richardson. Now it's Lomax. Here is Percival. Percival gets it away to Richardson. Richardson finds McCarthy Scarsbrook, takes the return.
Surrender!
Abdul is all over him and maybe putting a little bit of pressure on the back of the neck.
Time off last.
There. And there might be a problem here for Hull because generally this sort of thing, Stuart, is regarded as yellow card material.
Well, it's dangerous contact. He's got the pressure on the back of the neck as he's pushing there. He's got to create space and he may well find himself in the sin bin for 10 minutes.
I think that's incredibly harsh. The player has his head down. He's surrendering to the tackle, Danny Richardson. What's he supposed to do?
He's got to give space for the neck to come out of that situation.
What's he supposed to do?
Well, he doesn't put his weight on the back of the opposition neck, basically. Well, he's made the tackle, and then you get up off him.
Danny, James, come here, please. Just come here. Mate, if you don't stay down, let me explain what we're going to do. It's tackle 5, we're going to play the ball, and the incident is on report.
What Danny Houghton's saying there, if he doesn't stay down, nobody takes a second look at it, and the game just plays on, and I tend to agree with him.
Well, Richardson got up holding the back of his neck, and there obviously
because
was a
he knows
problem.
that will force people to take another look at it.
Oh, that's a great kick again, and Saints have it back, and that's a knock-on by Griffin in the tackle there.
It was stolen. 1-on-1. That was play on.
Well, they're going for the killer blow here, aren't they? The referee's going to give a scrum, and Saints are going to get another chance to find that kill with another score. 12-9. Hull survived so much the first half. Josh Griffin prevents a try with his left arm out. Knocks the ball down. That's obviously a knock-on, so we'll see a scrum and Saints get possession. But Hull, desperate to survive here in this game, have to hold out.
I know why you get anxious, but let's just go through the process. Let's get banged. Keep responding, mate, on that 10, yeah? Just keep responding on that 10.
This is a big set of 6 here now for Hull FC.
Just going back to that incident, Barry, you're saying that Danny Richardson, by the way, is play acting.
I'm saying that players know if they stay down for any length of time, naturally, referees, touch judges will think a little bit extra.
Dangerous.
So a little bit longer.
Well, Robert Hicks has given St Helens a penalty here for what looked like a similar instance that we got in the first half the other way round. The legs came up here. Were they higher than the hips?
I think you see at that time the hips go higher than his head, just at that point there. And that's the difference in the two tackles.
Okay, Jake Connor is a little bit frustrated. Danny Richardson, meanwhile, is kicking for goal.
Well, the referee has to make a live call. It's easy to criticise with all the replays, and obviously if you're Hull player, you won't like the decision, but he has to make a live call, and we have to try and provide player safety. People being picked up and dropped onto the heads, it's clearly not something we want to see, and we have to do everything we can here to try and prevent it by dissuading those style of tackles and penalising them if the referee thinks the player was put into a dangerous position.
So Richardson here to try and stretch the lead. Hull have got to score 3 times anyway to claim a victory. They have to score 3 times now to claim a victory. Twice it would have been for a draw, of course. Richardson makes it 14-0. Let's go down to Angela Powers.
Yeah, Hull are down by 2 tries, but also down by 2 interchanges too. The news is that Talanoa won't come back on after that calf injury, and neither will Brad Fash. At half-time, his jaw was looked at a little bit closer, and it might just be broken, so they're keeping him off for the rest of this half.
Well, Phil, you picked that out when he got a bang off the heel.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I know that when you see that much blood coming out of the mouth, very often, Eddie, that's an indication that there is a serious problem for the lower jaw, and I just hope it isn't that case, and we're going to see him back, because he was outstanding, wasn't he, some of the tackles he made early on.
Yeah, he was going really well, wasn't he? But Hull, with this 3rd game in 8 days, now they are restricted with their interchange options, and certain players will have to do a lot more minutes than they otherwise might have done.
Eddie, and they're up against the Saints side that are completing really high. The problem with James Roby, yeah, that just might equal it up. Again, going down his left side, looking for Percival.
Well, he wasn't tackled then by Chris Green. The referee shouted play on. And Roby's in a bit of a mess. He needs attention. Farge drills the ball in the back of one Hull player. It ricochets all over the place.
There'll be a head assessment here for Josh Bowden. The ball nearly knocked his head off.
He's in front, it'll be tackle 0.
Ricocheted off one of his teammates. So is that an accidental offside?
Don't play the ball, mate. No, it's the tackle 0. It's going to be a tackle 0 for accidental offside. Hits your man and it hits him in front of him. He's accidentally offside. That's what it has to be. No, mate, he hasn't knocked on your man.
Accidental offside.
He hasn't.
So goes into the face of Bowden.
It's a 0.
So he's playing a 0 tackle.
Do you know, that's unlucky, that, isn't it? You know, when calls go for you and against you.
Back here, Jordan.
Hull FC obviously 14 points behind now. They've got another set of 6 because of the ricochet that goes forward, hits their own man.
So the first offence is accidental offside, so you can't play on. Okay. First offence is accidentally offside. Scrum down from telling dead and free. It's the first offence. First offence is offside into a knock-on. Scrum down. First offence.
Not sure that Jake Connor helped the officials out there with that decision. He might want to go into being a referee when he retires. I know he has a lot to say there. He spoke to the touch judge, and in the end,
first offence.
The decision was reversed.
Yeah, they've got to the first offence for now. Robert was going to play on from the accidental offside, which of course he couldn't do because there was then a knock on by St Helens, so we get the scrum.
And that came after the accidental.
That's it. That was from Regan Grace, yeah.
Move, Danny. Hold now, hold. Hold.
You're keeping up with this, you two, because I know you like.
I just want to watch the game. I want the game to get into a decent flow and rhythm.
2. Move.
We've got half an hour left.
Matty Smith, as you can see, is on the field. Richardson and Farge. Peru.
Surrender.
He surrendered into the tackle, so Hull have a little bit longer to let him back up on his feet. Morgan Knowles now. That's the ball away.
Move.
Decent defence again from Hull. As McCarthy Scarsbrook thought he was through the gap. Here's Farge. Good hands, but not good hands from Regan Grace.
Oh, well, it was there for him, wasn't it? Jack Logan had wedged in. There was space out wide for Regan Grace. Look, he catches this ball. It's a dead set try, even though there's 3 Hull FC defenders. He's got the pace, he's got the power.
Are you all right with that ball?
To get to the line and score it.
Do you think he needs a rest from the first team? He's played every single game as this since Good Friday. He's only a young player. He played in the World Cup for Wales. I don't know whether for his long-term physical development he maybe needs to spell out. The problem we've got with the game is that there's no second-team competition. For him to consolidate the learning he's had over the last 12 months and then come back in and be an even better, stronger player.
To be fair to him, he's not in bad scoring form. Scored tries in both the Easter wins.
No, but I'm not bothered about his scoring performance. I think that eventually, as a young player, with the pressure of playing on the wing that he's had, and if you look at the fact that he didn't really get a pre-season, did he? He went to the World Cup and played more games over there. You can overplay when you're in the development part of your career, which is where he is right now.
A good point you make. I bet Regan Grace would say, let me play on, I'll carry on.
He probably would, but the experts above him, and this club have several of those, know to get him to be a great player over the next decade, that might not be the best thing right now.
Houghton for Hull, finds Jordan Abdul. There is Bowden, he is spun to the ground. There's Luke Douglas with the tackle. This is Sneed now. It's not the best kick that Sneed has ever put in, but he finds the right side of the whitewash. He does get away with that.
Well, Tommy Makinson just hoping that that ball was going to go out on the full. See, it looks like it's sliced from Mark Sneed. Saints players are just hoping and wishing it goes over, but just lands it in the field of play. Tommy Makinson, while not taking any chances, knowing what's in front of him in Tumavavi and Griffin.
He's been outstanding tonight. I know Regan Grace had a look at the try line, but some of his work coming away from the backfield has been good. But it's around about that time, or shortly will be, when we start looking at the top performers. But for me, Tommy Makinson has been exceptional.
Stand, hold, go.
Matty Smith on the field for the injured James Roby. He replaced Roby as well on Monday at Widnes.
Move, Danny. Get square, Jordan. Hold. Go.
Again, Eddie looking at getting between defenders. The forwards when they run, they got good footwork, late footwork at the line. Very hard to dominate someone like that.
Smith again to Wilkin. He then finds Richardson, and here comes Morgan Knowles again. Great experience in the shape of Matty Smith. A man here has been to 5 grand finals, 4 with Wigan, 1 with Saints. And on the ball now, and gets the pass away to Theo Farge. This is Ebtea coming wide to Percival. Percival puts boot to ball, turns it inside. Richardson's after this. Richardson's nearly... Oh, well, he was offside as well, accidentally.
He's missed it. Last tackle.
It's the turnover, because that was the last tackle.
He's accidentally hit him,
Yeah,
so he's
Hull FC
offside.
get
Like
the ball back here.
It's a turnover.
Call from the referee,
No, mate, he
Robert
misses
Hicks.
it. Doesn't touch it.
Good pressure as well, deciding to run the ball on the last play. Young Danny Richardson, the man who's talking with the referee now, shapes the kick, and then all of a sudden he spots some space and numbers out on the left, and it's left to Mark Percival to kick it. But again, it was good pressure.
It's a big ask for Hull to go from this part of the field up the other end against this St Helens defence.
You're right, Eddie, and in fact there's a lot of sporting contests where one team look like they're nearly beaten, which is where Hull right are at the present time, but there's a chance here, and that ball come through. You see Albert Kelly's the key here, and they've got to try and play the game a little bit quicker, and they're going to have to take some risks to get through St Helens defence.
Abdul finds Sneed, wide to Tumavavi. Good tackling again from young Richardson. Scott Taylor. Last tackle, they're not up to halfway yet, Hull.
Wait, go. Scott.
And that's a dink into centre field by Sneed. He finds Jamie Shaw, but Makinson is there to snuff out any danger. But that was invention from Hull.
Well, they needed that, and he called it Jamie Shaw. Mark Sneed knew exactly where his fullback was. Good positioning. Knows that they need an X-factor like that sort of play. But unfortunately, they couldn't beat the last line of defence for Saints. But that's what they've got. They can turn a game at any point at Hull FC. But you've got to give credit to this Saints side.
And they've got a pretty good record on this ground since 2012. 10 visits here, 6 wins and a draw. And they won here twice in 2015 and 2016, including a 47-18 cup win that ended that cup run with their first ever Wembley win that year. Did Hull FC. But tonight, 14-0 down. With just over a quarter of the game remaining, and St Helens here looking to try and put the game to bed, but the pass was not the best, and it's been fed out here to Logan, and then that's gone forward to Albert Kelly. Well, that went forward a mile to Kelly. They're going to get the try.
Hey, you're right, you look at it. You sound disappointed. The whole side and the whole supporters are not there. That's brilliant counter-attacking play.
Well, he can't look for a forward pass.
Where do you think the 2 knock-ons are?
And now he's talking about 2 knock-ons.
On the pick-up. Time off. Okay.
Well, I think this is the lesser of 2 evils here. I think they're taking the soft option.
Take the 2 knock-ons, please.
Looking for a knock-on with the pick-up. They can't look for the forward pass because that Stewart was 3 metres forward.
I'm not sure on the distance, but it certainly looked like he went forward.
Come on, I'll buy a carpet from you.
Looking for 2 knock-ons here. Well, there's no knock-on there.
There's one there.
There's one there. Is there a knock-on on the pickup? No, that's a clean pickup. I don't think there's a problem with that, and there's nothing wrong with that pass.
Well, this is okay then, isn't it, Connor? Obviously, this pass that we're going to...
That's great skill.
But the ball did go forward from the pass from Logan, I think. Look at this.
This is going to be game on. You ride your luck in this sport, don't you? Some decisions go for you, some go against you. And Hull, they've been on the back foot. He's thrown the pass backwards, according to the officials. The touch as your referee out in place, and they've got 4 points on the board.
They have got 4 points on the board.
If you look at the hands of the passer, Eddie, are they facing backwards?
I don't know whether they're facing backwards, but the ball went forward.
It's the momentum rule in Hull.
I wonder when that were coming out.
Try is going to be given, and is. Hull are back in it. Albert Kelly, the man with the X factor.
Well, in
the man with the longest arms in the game.
They look for forward passes in rugby union with a video referee, don't they? They call him the TMO in that sport.
Well,
wait until the St Helens supporters see this on the replay.
Yeah, well, he's certainly key, Albert Kelly, and Clark is called for him to get his hands on the ball.
Wait for this.
He gets his hands on the ball, but look at that. That is, Eddie, 3.5 metres forward. I'm absolutely with you. Nominated for the big award last year, Man of Steel, Albert Kelly. He's been very quiet tonight in tonight's game.
The Saints fans have seen this replay on the big screen, and when they see this pass again, well, it goes there, and look where it ends up.
Eddie, it could be 4 metres.
Hey,
could be 4.5 metres.
Did Ben Barber drop the ball going over the try line against Widnes? You know, some decisions have gone for them, and this kick, well, that's gone exactly where Mark Sneed needed it.
Hull are back in it at 14 points to 6.
Well, that might just give them a bit of a lift, Eddie.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Well, I'm sure they're giving them a lift. They're a pretty good club, aren't they? They've been under pressure, they've ridden the luck, and they've had to score on that chance. They needed good speed. And, you know, I think one person who will have been happy is the ambassador for the club. Possibly Hull's greatest ever player, and probably the nicest person in the sport of rugby league, Johnny Whiteley, MBE, is still connected with the Hull side, and I'm sure, even though his team have been under pressure, he's certainly got them back alive here now. They're in this contest again.
The pass, though, from Jordan Abdul is a little wayward.
Go. Give 10 minutes, kids got.
Sneed with the kick. There's only Regan Grace back here.
It's a big 10 minutes here for Hull FC in defence, and I'll be honest, there wasn't that much urgency along that Hull FC defensive line. Although Jordan Abdul come up with a good shot, there wasn't enough speed. Again, trying to push Saints back.
Sorry, Terry, we need to get some news on James Roby from the sideline. Angela?
Yeah, James Roby's back on the bench now. He went down the tunnel to the treatment room. It looked like a bang to the ribs. He's back on the bench, as I say, with a coat on, and they're a bit reticent at this moment to say whether, with any certainty, whether he'll go back onto the pitch or not to play, but they're hopeful.
That was the tackle that he got, the damage to the ribs.
Last, it's not. Get square.
Coming up to the hour mark. Hull are in the hunt here for something. Richardson, though, with another high kick. Well watched on that far side by Josh Griffin.
And I think that's been one of the differences between the two sides. When Saints have got to the back end of their sets, even though Danny Richardson has had to change his mind a few times, he's been under pressure, but he's still come up with better options on tackle 4-5 and Hull FC. They've been a bit scrappy at the back end. Albert Kelly, we've talked about him getting involved at the back end of sets, but when he does, Mark Sneed then needs to take responsibility for that kick.
Morgan, move! Hold John, hold Luke. John,
Harvey struggling to his feet. Here's Houghton. And Mickey Payer.
Move! All the way, Zeb.
There certainly looks a little bit more urgency about Hull after that try. Here's the scorer of it. Albert Kelly dinks the ball over the top. Theo Farge read it, but Kelly is saying he was impeded in the chase for that, and he didn't collide with a St Helens player.
Well, they did collide with someone, but I don't think that St Helens player could get out the way. Eddie, again, look at the meters that Tommy Makinson makes going across the field. It's Kyle Amo. Kyle Amo just flings his arm out. That could have been a penalty.
Zeptea now for the Saints.
I think he's been really good. I think he's been one of the big reasons, Zeptea, that Albert Kelly's not really run with the ball over on the right-hand side.
Matty Smith back into centre field. Wilkin then feeds Luke Thompson.
Move! Hold, go.
Smith wide to Richardson. Ryan Morgan now through one challenge. Good job that Jordan Lane was there. Last one, Smith dabs it over the top, claimed by Shaw. He's in his own in-goal area. Good chase from Matty Smith. Good chase. Applause from his coach. Enthusiasm from Matty Smith. Could easily have this season taken his bat and ball home and sulked, but not Matty Smith. He's built a better stuff than that.
Yeah, ultimate pro. Eddie, he would have helped young Danny Richardson along and Theo Farge, Matty Smith. And he knows when to go, when it's the right time. And it was a very quick play of the ball from Morgan. Smith spots that, gets a good kick and puts pressure on Hull FC.
Kyle Amor again. Takes the first tackle. There's Smith. Thompson down the middle and standing his ground with Taylor and Houghton. Smith's pointed down the right-hand side, but comes left to Wilkin. Amor again. Trying to get the hands free to get the offload away, but they're inching closer to that Hull line. Matty Smith fires the pass. Richardson to Farge. Farge then to Morgan. He gets away from Griffin. Good work by Ryan Morgan. Good defensive recovery by Griffin and Hull. Very close, St Helens. This is Richardson again. Now it's Matty Smith. Smith, well, he came off the head of Amor, went back, and so Lomax picks it up. Lomax goes for the kick to the corner. Logan gets to it.
Even that, Eddie, playing the ball less than a metre away from his own line. The Hull FC player, Jack Logan. When they're making it up, the better at the minute.
Here's Logan again. Had to play the ball there. Jake Conrad, a little bit of a push at Theo Farge. Meanwhile, Hull come up with a knock-on. Have to play the ball.
I think he comes up with a big play, taking the ball over his shoulder, close to his line. Then he gets involved on the third play. As he's trying to plant the ball down, it hits Zeptea's leg. So Zeptea can't get out of the way. He's looking at position himself at first marker.
Okay. Let's get in, please.
So look, he's getting around, trying to reposition himself at first marker, and the youngster's got to have better control, Eddie.
Well, I'd probably have a bit more sympathy for him if he was trying to put that ball inside rather than go around the side of his leg, and I think that's why the ball's come out. I think it's a fair call from the referee.
So head and feet at the scrum to St Helens. Knowles. Jordan Lane with the tackle. Lomax. Luke Thompson. Back they come again, laying siege to the whole line. Matty Smith. Richardson. Farge. Teya. Good tackle by Albert Kelly.
Stand, goal line, Jamie.
They've weathered three. They've got three more to come. Wilkins, short ball. Thompson rolls it over the line, but was he short, and did that constitute a double movement? They've no try on the field. He had a clear look at it, Robert Hicks.
I don't think this is a try. I think it's double movement from the big fella, Luke Thompson. Lands short, and then does he go over?
Well, that's the question that Robert Hicks has asked. Two questions. Knock on, or is he short, or is it a double movement? Well, he's short at that point, but he can't just stop his momentum. What happens after that? Well, I think he might even have lost the ball at that point. You see, the ball seems to come away from his hand just as he hits the ground.
He can ground it with the upper torso, though, can't he, Stu?
Only when the ball's on the ground. So if there's a kick through, you can ground it with the upper torso. He has to keep possession of his ball.
He might have lost that. You're right.
And I think he loses the ball there, just rolls underneath him. So I think this the no try will be confirmed, and I think the restart should be a scrum.
Having a look at real time.
No, he's short and he's lost the ball.
Nothing there you think that would overturn the on-field decision?
No, just a confirmation.
No try it is. Gets the red light.
Well, during the week, Lee Radford voiced his frustration about situations just like this. Robert Hicks is a metre away from that. First glance, this is the view he gets. First glance, you feel that while trying to get near the line, Luke Thompson drops it.
He will be thinking perhaps momentum takes him over.
He will, but he's got to have possession of the ball.
Yeah.
I think he saw on that he
That's
lost
probably
the ball.
why Robert Hicks has handed it upstairs to Ben Taylor for another look. I mean, I take it on board exactly what Lee Radford said this week. You know, nobody wants to see a 2-hour game of rugby league, but if the technology is there, these referees will use it.
And a situation like that as well, that is a difficult call, because he's seen live the ball short, but then it ends up on the line, so you've got to find out how it gets there.
Hey, let's be honest, lads, he's glad he's used that technology that we've got instead of awarding the try, isn't he? Because that has just kept Hull FC in this game.
Yeah, sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it goes against you, as Phil rightly said over the forward pass.
But his initial call was it was no try.
Yeah.
Hold.
Yep, it was.
Hold up.
So he just wanted confirmation, and he got it.
Ooh. They're obviously trying to magic the way forward here. They're trapped late in the tackle count, right on the touchline.
Taylor will take it forward on tackle number 5. No, he won't. He'll get rid of it to Houghton. That's a great offload. The chance here, Kelly will take them on up the middle. Can he get the ball away? Yes, he can.
Good catch. Great ball there from Abdul. They're trying everything to keep it alive again.
Here is Washbrook, now Kelly. Man coming back from an offside position there.
There's no offside.
No.
He can't be offside. Because of all the passes in the movement, there was never a play of the ball in between, so he can't be offside.
It almost looks as though he intentionally threw the ball at the St Helens player, hoping that he would receive a penalty. It's late in the tackle count.
Okay.
Look, they've shifted it from one side of the field to the other. They know they can't die in possession.
Pick an appropriate time, I think
Kelly
you need to together, but not now.
throws it almost towards Luke
Time's
Thompson.
off, mate. Should be off, I think. Is it? Yeah. Let's get back.
No. Scott Taylor with the mistake.
Let's go. Let's get it in another. Front row, are you in there, Morgan?
Well, it was his opposite, wasn't it? Luke Thompson.
Ball in.
He just got in the way and made it. Scott Taylor made the error. And Saints will really look to post a try here now in the next 4 minutes. Close the game off. Hull FC have still got a sniff, still confident.
And a man of the match might emerge shortly, because we're going to have 4 names for you to vote on shortly, and you'll be able to vote via our league app, and that voting will open in a couple of minutes' time. There is a former player watching the match with you live on Sky Sports tonight. He's going to come up with 4 names, and then it's down to you to vote for the Betfred man of the match. Give you a shout when the voting is open and give you the 4 names. Meanwhile, this is Amor.
Move, Mickey, line, mate. Make this line, Mickey.
Smith wants to get on with it on the last tackle. This is Farge. Farge then to Zebteya. Second try for Zebteya. I think he stayed just the right side of the whitewash, and Robert Hicks agrees. And that could be the match-winning moment for St Helens, who will maintain their lead at the top of the Betfred Super League table. 2 tries tonight for Zebteya on his 40th St Helens appearance, and I think he might be one of the candidates for your man of the match vote.
Well, Scott Taylor loses possession here, and he thought that Luke Thompson was offside. He's asking questions to the referee. Well, this is what I like about Zebteya, the committed lines that he runs. If there's not a hole there, he'll make one himself. Scored the first try from a crossfield kick. And this is the other part of his game, where he turns up for his halfback. Great player, Zebteya.
Earlier on in that set of 6, he catches the ball, Zebteya, feeds it back inside to Johnny Lomax. Johnny Lomax gains about 20 metres from that, and you see him hovering again, Johnny Lomax. And his presence gives that man a one-on-one, and you'd back him on most occasions that close to the line, given a one-on-one.
Well, he got 2 tries in the first round defeat against Castleford here, and he's got another 2 tries here tonight, has Zebteya. So that's 6 for the season. He made his full debut against Hull in an away defeat 12 months ago for Saints. I think he has scored 2 tries in a home win against Hull for Saints. 26 is the scoreline, and just less than 12 minutes remain.
Well, it looks as though St Helens have spoken about improving the angle for the goal kick if you get over the try line. I don't see many players work as hard as he does to get the ball closer to the post, but it's made it a far easier 2 points more on the total. And with a 14-point lead and 12 to go, or just less, you'd think, although you never know, you think they've got 2 more points on that league ladder.
Short kick-off from the Saints, and Albert Kelly did well. This is Mickey Payer backing his way to the 20-metre line. Houghton, Washbrook, short ball, Connor. Tremendous work from the kick-off by Hull FC. Look where they are here now with 3 tackles remaining. It's Kelly, and he finds Abdul, who finds Sneed, and goes wide to Jamie Shaw. Makinson looked like he'd missed the tackle, but held on to the shirt tail. Abdul again, picked up by Washbrook, a little untidy. Washbrook then keeps the movement going once more. Kelly, I'm not going to die wondering tonight, Hull.
Well, that's when they look dangerous, when they're offloading the ball.
Go. Abdul again pops the pass up to Taylor. Taylor straightens it up. Down he goes, tackle number 5, 6 or 7 metres away from the Saints line. Play the ball there to Houghton, short ball, Lane, solid defence.
Hasn't he been good tonight? In a beaten side, he's worked tirelessly over on that left edge for Hull FC. Turned up when it's his turn to carry the ball. An old head on young shoulders there. Big future for that young man.
Well, let me tell you what's coming up tomorrow. We've got 3 games for you from Rugby League. First of all, in Australia, the West Tigers take on the Melbourne Storm at 6 a.m. for you early risers. Then we're at Salford tomorrow afternoon at 3:10 in the Betfred Super League. Salford against Warrington on Sky Sports Arena as well. And it will be followed swiftly by the Catalan Dragons against Wigan. It's always one of the Catalans' big matches of the season, that, when Wigan are in Perpignan. Voting is now open, by the way, for the Betfred Man of the Match. Give you the candidates shortly. You can probably pick them yourself.
Last move, Jordan. Mickey, come on.
Connor with the tackle from Zebteya. This is Richardson. Matty Smith hoists the kick out to the right-hand side.
Still last.
This is Morgan, they're keeping it alive. Still keeping it alive. Hacked forward then. Hacked forward by Richardson. And it is Jamie Shaw and Mark Sneed to the rescue.
That all comes back to the catch and flick from Tommy Makinson. He's my pick for man of the match, I think. The man chasing the ball as well, Danny Richardson, has had some nice touches.
Wait for Mickey, mate. Come.
Go for a short kick-off here to Jake Connie. Just can't get the ball.
Stood still.
Well, he was blocked by Percival.
Well, he doesn't need to move though, Mark Percival. He can't get out of the way. But Jake Connie just disappear.
Theo Farge. Percival comes back into centre field with McCarthy. Scarsbrook. Wanted to make a name for himself, Louis, on his 300th appearance in Super League. Gets the ball away, and Luke Thompson will plant the ball down. I think this will be given because momentum, I think, has taken Luke Thompson home. And they have a try in the field.
Oh, every cannon from Thompson. It's like shot out of a cannon. 17.5 stone. He can certainly run once he gets that ball. You're right, it does his momentum take him over the try line for the score? I think it does.
Well, it certainly looked like he kept on rolling, and it does. No problem at all with that. The tackle's only complete when the momentum stops, and that never stopped till it was in the in-goal area. So he's perfectly allowed to place the ball on the ground.
And this try, when it's confirmed right now from Luke Thompson, will confirm St Helens goes 6 points clear at the top of the table tonight. Wigan in action in the south of France tomorrow will try and keep hold of their shirt tails if they can.
Well, a big try from Luke Thompson, but he'll put this chance an opportunity down to LMS. It's his quick play of the ball that gives another member coming on from the bench this evening. Matty Smith gets up, has a look what's available, and that roll and the presence of mind to get the ball down gets him a well-deserved try.
So Richardson will try and add the extras. He's been pretty good tonight with the boot. He hasn't missed 1 from 4. And he hasn't missed 5 from 5. 100% for Richardson, 100% for St Helens. They're going to be clear at the top.
Momentum continues.
Right, let's give you the man of the match candidate, shall we? With 7 minutes to go. Johnny Lomax is 1. Tommy Makinson is another. Mark Percival is another. And Scott Taylor of Hull, the only representative from East Yorkshire for Hull FC. So there we go. You can now vote on the Our League app for your man of the match tonight. And we'll announce the Betfred man of the match, as usual, at the end of the programme.
And I think a lot of players that John Wilkin has been doing, he gets the ball, he's nice and direct, he accelerates, all of a sudden it holds up the sliding Hull FC defence. Yeah, he makes a mistake here, he's under pressure from Chris Green, but I think he does create some genuine space out wide because of the speed of which he catches the ball, the directness of which he runs, and then delivers a pass at perfect timing.
I can tell you Tommy Makinson at the moment running away with the man of the match award. The vote closes in about 4.5 minutes time. He's got 55% of your votes already, but there is plenty of time for that vote to change.
I don't think you can argue with that, can you? At either side of the ball, we said it on Monday at Widnes, he's really good, can score tries in a little small area, but as well it's his yardage plays that really excite other people in the game.
Sneed drops the pass off to Josh Griffin.
Would he be close to a telephone call and a trip to Denver for the mid-season test match?
Makinson.
Yeah, I mean, Jermaine McGilvery's out injured at present as Hull go wide, he juggles the ball behind him, but I think all of us think up here he's been very impressive so far this season.
He's got 1 appearance for the England Knights, Tommy Makinson, to his credit in his career, but he might well be going across the pond. That's a great try. That's a great try from Chris Green for Hull FC, fed by Abdul underneath the posts. It might be too little too late, but while we're watching Mark Sneed come back, I can tell you he has just converted the try, so they're in a rush.
Well, certainly behind on the scoreboard. Nick Gay might have gone, but he'll please Lee Radford knowing that his team have gone right till the final few minutes of this game. Jordan Abdul comes up with a decent offload to Chris Green. Both of those players started on the bench. They've come on, they've lent and helped their side, and they've come up with 6 points.
Well, you know, the rules, of course, mean you don't have to place kick it, you can drop kick it. Just look at this, this is one of the quickest conversions we'll see. You still get the same number of points for it, 2 points.
I think one of the issues there was we didn't have any touch judges behind the goal, and Robert Hicks wasn't in position. Took it even too quick for the officials.
I thought they couldn't take it till the officials were in place.
Well, they shouldn't really.
A quick game's a good game, Barry.
Mark Sneed put his hand up and said, yeah, I got that, ref. That's enough, Eddie.
I don't think, I was going to say even you would miss that, but maybe there again.
You never know.
Stand, hold, go, 3.
This is Houghton to the left-hand side to Twimmer Varby. I mean, you can credit Hull, they've kept it going, haven't they? They really have. Connor.
They've been workmanlike, Eddie. I don't think anyone's really took the game by the scruff of the neck, though.
No.
think it's the work at the back end of the sets. See a sloppy pass there from Albert Kelly
by Tommy Makinson.
You can see why he's trying to force the issue, but early on in the game, consistently in the game, the stuff at the back end of sets, before a ball was kicked, the final third of the pitch was important. They had to be ruthless, they had to be clinical. There's another mistake. He's my man of the match, he's been outstanding.
Well, let's have a look with precisely 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on the vote on the R-League app. At the moment, Tommy Makinson is, well, almost 57% of the vote to his credit. Scott Taylor, Mark Percival, Johnny Lomax. I think we can safely say that Makinson will be crowned the Betfred man of the match in around about 3.5 minutes' time. So they'll get the points, they'll get the man of the match award, they'll get the money to go to the local charity as well, or the chosen charity as well. Good night's work for St Helens. Here's Sneed. Takes the return, Mark Sneed. And Logan's asked for the kick in behind Regan Grace. Regan Grace collects it though and does really well to get out of jail.
He kicks that ball on the second, obviously chasing the game now. Need some points, and when your winger calls for the ball like Jack Logan did, Mark Sneed just says, yep, have a go with that lad, but Regan Grace puts himself in the position where all the action was going to be.
Go to
Wilkin for the Saints. Ball went backwards off Jordan Abdul. Here is Kelly. Oh, lovely flick pass. This is Bowden.
Two nice flick pass. First one from Abdul, then from Kelly.
Go all the way.
Connor to Kelly to Sneed to Imababi. Tackled by Morgan, keeps it alive. Abdul still has it.
Go.
No, wasn't it? Was Lane, I beg his pardon. Here is Kelly again. Almost caught Twimababi off guard. Well, they've got the box of tricks out now of Hull FC. A bit late in the day, with a 14-point deficit and 2 minutes to go, but they'll give their supporters something to smile about maybe on the way home, or maybe not. Chris Green drops it.
They lost that ball. He was under pressure. I think it was John Wilkin who hit the ball. You know, Albert Kelly in the last, it seems, 5 minutes has really come to life. Unfortunately, it's too late.
McCarthy Scarsbrook, successful night for him. On his landmark Super League appearance night. Douglas making good ground still despite the attention of 3 defenders.
Hold.
Smith.
Go.
Down the short side, Richardson further out wide to Morgan. Takes the tackle of Twimababi.
Go.
Peru to Richardson. Hoists the kick. Everyone in reverse. Griffin has it. Good chase by Makinson, who will be confirmed shortly as your man of the match, I'm sure.
He's just a 100% commitment, isn't he? In everything that he does. Helps the forwards out, can finish a try. Defensively chases really hard, knowing that when the ball's got in the air, someone's got to put pressure on down near the opposition's try line.
I interviewed him before the match. He said he was looking forward to the duel with Talanoa. That didn't unfold, but it's his 30th consecutive appearance for St Helens, and that durability, that consistency. He says, I feel fit, I feel healthy, and it is a difficult time of year. Easter is always a challenge, but rugby league players want to play the game, and he's certainly a man that before the match was looking forward to the contest.
2 tries on Monday as well for Tommy Makinson, taking him to 100 now for Saints. Oh, how about that from Kelly? How about that from Green? Here is Bowden. This is Houghton. Bounces off Richardson. Keeps it going. Here's Connor. He's got Logan on the touchline. Will take the tackle. This will be the last play of the game. Might be even a penalty.
Oh, he's picking the wrong one there in Zeb Taylor, I think, Jake Connor.
There's the full-time siren. Justin Holbrook's men have won. They stay top of the table, opening up a 6-point gap, 26 points to 12. 6-0 up at half-time. It was more open in the second half. Tries from Percival. Taylor got his second, and Thompson. Richardson faultless with the boot, 5 from 5. Kelly got a try in 57th minute with the Most outrageous forward pass I think we've ever seen in Super League. Sneed added the goal, 14-6, and then 5 minutes from time, Green with the try for Hull to give the scoreline a little bit of respectability, and Mark Sneed added his second goal. 26 points to 12, the final score at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and Saints marching on, just one defeat in their opening 10 matches now in the Betfred Super League. And plenty for Lee Radford to ponder about on the way home tonight, but he had to patch up his team to get them out to play their third game in 8 days. They didn't let him down. They just came up against a very resolute, very strong St Helens team.
Yeah, they did, and I just thought that the way that Saints played from the minute 1 to the 80th minute in defence and attack, they were very good. Hull FC, there was no real standouts. There was no player, as I said in commentary, taking the game by the scruff of the neck. It was only the last 10 minutes that they really seemed to open up and throw caution to the wind. When Saints, when they have you down and you're trapped near your own line, you do things that you don't want to do in defence, and they were led up front, the likes of Amor and Thompson. Zeb Taylor was good. John Wilkin, I think the only negative for Justin Holbrook was that man, the number 9, going off with the injury. We've had a relatively fit squad for the last 3 games. They'll be hoping that he won't be injured for next week's game.
Right, let's name the Betfred man of the match, and it is Tommy Makinson. There he is, he's with Angela Powers.
And there is your silver salver as well, Tommy. I think you got more than 50% of the vote, but Terry O'Connor said up there you always give 100% consistency and commitment. Great game for you tonight.
Yeah, you know, we always knew that was going to be a tough one. You know, Hull are a great side, and you know, tonight we completed our sets and stuck to our game plan, what Justin gave us, and you know, in the end we come through against, you know, a difficult side.
What was the key to that win? Was it the quick starts in the first and the second half, those quick tries?
Yeah, you know, we always want a good start. You know, that one thing we've been working on this pre-season is, you know, getting them good starts and getting off to a good start, and if you do that, you know, it kicks you on into the game. But you know, credit to Justin and the staff. You know, they've got us firing, and you know, credit to Hull as well. That was a tough battle out there after a long Easter period.
Where on earth does the energy come from?
I don't know. 20 minutes into that game, I was looking at the bench and I felt like a forward. I was like, you know, come on, Giz, I might have come off here, but nah, I was fine. And you know, credit to the boys there, fought Zeb and you know, Johnny in my position was, you know, sensational. So you know, shout out to them.
That's great. And there's your cheque for 250. Where's it going to go?
I'd like to go to the Tony Barrow Foundation. You know, my partner's uncle, you know, he died of a brain tumour, and you know, we love him and missing him, you know, every day. So you know, that'll go to his foundation and helping other people as well.
Great cause, well said. Thanks, Tommy. Congratulations. Thank you. We've got the 2-try Zeb Taylor now with us. 2 great tries there, and no, there weren't many tries in that, but a great win for you.
Yeah, it was a good win. It's been a tough week, you know. Obviously this East period's pretty take a toll on your body, but yeah, happy to give it a line for the 2 tries. Yeah.
I just asked Tommy, where on earth did your energy come from? You never seemed to falter in that game.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's one of those games, one of those ones where, like, you know, we've got a big long turnaround now, and you know, we can enjoy it now with a couple of days off. So you know, everyone knew what was at stake tonight. You know, obviously we wanted to get the win tonight and, you know, get those 2 points.
That's a huge tick in the box to get 3 over Easter.
Yeah, it is massive, you know, like, especially, you know, playing against Wigan on Good Friday, then backing up on Monday, then obviously today against a good whole team. You know, credit to them, they, you know, kept coming all game.
And a team effort as well from all of you, you know, it's worked hard for each other all the way through.
Yeah, it is, you know, everyone in this team has a role, and, you know, everyone's doing it at the moment. So if we can keep doing that, you know, we'll keep winning games.
Well done, Seb, thank you.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
We've got Justin Holbrook with us now. That's a great win, Justin. You must be really happy with that. You were happy at half-time, but you're even happier now at full-time.
Yeah, definitely. No, I thought we played really well in the first half, and then the second half, it's just hard, isn't it? 3 games in 8 days, but yeah, couldn't be happier.
What was the key to the win?
Oh, look, I thought we just played really well. You know, we're just working really hard defensively, and in attack, we just, you know, we're in control of what we're doing and doing the simple things well, and it's going well for us.
And to keep errors really at a minimum, considering what you've been through, all the teams have been through in these last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I thought it was a good game for that. You know, with both teams backing up again, it's been a tough campaign, but an enjoyable one.
How's James Roby?
Yeah, not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We'll find out, I'm sure, later.
Yep.
You did all of that without Ben Barber.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it was good. You know, we're confident in our squad, and yeah, it was a good win tonight.
Congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Cheers.
We've got Lee Radford with us now. Lee, your players gave it everything there, didn't they?
Yeah, you know, dusted by your better side, unfortunately. You know, a couple of areas in particular, I thought their ruck tempo, you know, quite envious of it, both with the ball and without it. And we couldn't, you know, we couldn't get to grips with that. So hopefully we'll take a tip from the, you know, the men at the top of the tree moving forward. And I thought the kicking game was phenomenal. You know, challenged us with every kick, and you know, got the rewards for that as well.
It didn't help that you were down a couple of interchange options as well when you lost Talanoa and Brad Fash.
Yeah, it looks like he's broke his jaw, and Tully's done his calf as well, so we're doing it really, really tough. But yeah, no qualms, being by far better side.
It just means that you've got to regroup now with all of those injuries as well and just focus on the next phase of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. We've got to take note of them, take note of what they're doing. You know, the tempo in which they're playing at is exciting to watch, I would imagine, if you're a supporter. And the tempo in which they're defending at is envious as a coach. You know, they're doing some really good stuff in contact. So, yeah, we can look at that and improve.
Thanks for your time, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lee Radford confirming Brad Fash looks like he's broken his jaw, and they've got a run ahead of them that you will see on Sky Sports. Widnes away, Leeds at home, and Catalan Dragons away. Defeated tonight at St Helens. Saints with their third victory in 8 days, their 9th win of season 2018 in the Betfred Super League. A couple of tries for Zebtea. And we can go to John Wells now for his game breaker in that match. John, over to you.
Thanks very much, Brian. We'll take a look at the second half tries while we build up to what is the game breaker. I think everybody echoes Lee Radford's comments following the game and saying, you know, that they play an exciting brand of rugby. It's very easy on the eye, isn't it? Healthy crowds here in the totally wicked stadium. You know, very, very expectant crowd, but they're getting treated out. This is some fantastic rugby at the end of this season so far. Hull FC, they did chime in and they did play their part in a game that was end-to-end. In the end, St Helens just the stronger of the two, and the confidence will take them 3 from 3 over the Easter period, Brian, and they'll continue to lead the way at the top of the Super League ladder. Wasn't he impressive, Luke Thompson? His stock continues to rise, as does a number of other St Helens players. And you referenced Tommy Makinson with a well-deserved man of the match. Danny Richardson continues to impress, doesn't he? Some really good points there for St Helens. I'm going to take to the game breaker. For me, it was the first try after the second half. It was Percival's try from a scrum following error from Hull FC. A couple of things to have a look at here. There's a legitimate question to ask when they come to review, and that is at the point where Regan Grace leaves his spot as a winger and goes and fills in on the other side, all 6 outfield players at the back, why they don't make the adjustment. Now, yes, you could put fatigue, lapses of concentration down to that. You could also say it's done on purpose, because there's Danny Houghton who sits just in this inside, the left-hand side of the ruck, who will get out. Problem is, you've got Johnny Lomax, who's your first receiver off the scrum, who's 20 metres away. It's going to cause you problems, and so it did. Scrum breaks down. They have more time to adjust, more time to send the player over. They don't. That's the pass that does everybody. And then as soon as it gets into Johnny Lomax's hands, if you're Mark Sneed, you're finding yourself in a really invidious position. Just look at what Mark Sneed's trying to do. That's a natural reaction, that when you know you're outgunned, you're trying to cover physically as much space as you possibly can with your body. Nice little line run on the outside from Morgan. That holds Tumi Vavi off, and then, well, I think one of the best line running outside backs in Super League in Mark Percival goes through. That makes them 12-0. It's a point from which, Brian, they look very, very comfortable, didn't they? And despite Hull's efforts towards the end of the game, that was a St Helens game. Despite the fatigue, despite the short turnaround, despite the glut of games, they will be very, very happy with that result. Gone 3 from 3 for Easter, and like I said, continue to lead the way at the top of Super League.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. That was something that was said by Lee Radford. Justin Holbrook's side in 2018 have set the tempo for the rest of the Super League sides. Well, he's been in the game long enough to know that nothing is won at this time of the year, but seasons can be galvanised over the Easter period. And they have got maximum points from a physically difficult time for all the clubs. They are now 6 points clear of the Wigan Warriors, who you can see in action tomorrow on the Sky Sports cameras when they go to the south of France to take on the Catalan Dragons. Warrington, Leeds and then Hull FC stay on 10 points. Now 8 points behind St Helens after 10 matches played. And it is certainly a gap that is beginning to open up. Saints minus Ben Barber, minus James Roby were too good for Hull FC. It didn't all go the way of Hull FC in that game. Phil, not just playing-wise, but the absentees during the game. Fatuli Talanoa goes off injured. Brad Fash may have broken his jaw. They weren't able to cope with that adversity, and they weren't able to cope with St Helens. You said before the game, if Hull FC win, it could be a season-defining win. They haven't won, so what's your assessment of them thus far?
I think that they'll be there or thereabouts in that pack of teams that we see them sit around in the league table. They're a good side, and I know they were outplayed here, but the Saints are the benchmark for Super League at present, so it's not an embarrassment to lose here, especially with the injuries that you mentioned. And later in the game, they did move the ball around. They had some dangerous threats, but they're certainly nowhere near the side that they were last season at this point. I think Jack Logan came on the right wing. It was a difficult night for him. They need perhaps a bolstering out wide there with a greater threat.
Notwithstanding the disruption to the side that you've referenced, what would be your criticism of Hull FC? If you're Lee Radford sitting in, analysing that performance, where did they most let him down?
Well, physically, if you look at those first 25 minutes, when a collision took place, whether it was whichever team had the ball, the win in that collision seemed to go to St Helens, didn't it? And I think that happened too many times. So I said it was like a wave going from the left to right. The Saints just had all the momentum behind them when they had the ball and even when they didn't. And I think that's that physical challenge that they've got to try and match up and play against the intensity and the pace. The other thing that St Helens did particularly well, which made life hard for Hull, was they ran straight. You know, it's very hard to change behaviour and habits as a coach, but Justin Holbrook appears to be doing that because most players in this country run towards the corner flag. He's got them running straight towards the goalpost, and that makes it even harder to defend against.
Importantly for St Helens, and I say importantly now because they've won the game, there was no Ben Barber in that match. Justin Holbrook referenced it in the game. It's good for their squad now. I mean, we know that they can win without Ben Barber. We know that he's not the be-all and end-all for St Helens. But psychologically, for the club, for the players and for the fans, it's important to win without him.
I think so, massively so. Yes, I agree with you there. I mean, before the game, you asked me what difference would it be if Ben Barber didn't play. So I paid particular close attention to what Johnny Lomax did in the full-back jersey. And there may have been one or two occasions where you said Ben Barber perhaps could have got through the line and managed to get over and score, but I don't think there was much difference. And the try that John picked out as the game-breaking moment, that nice soft delivered pass from the full-back to Mark Percival, that's what you expect from Ben Barber, and it's what Saints expect from whoever plays in that full-back jersey role, whether it be Barber or Lomax or anybody else here, to deliver the quality, inviting ball that gets Percival doing what he does best, which is running through defences and scoring the way he did. I think they're the two things. Matthew Smith came on as well, didn't he? Replaced James Roby. The worrying thing for every other Super League side is that Saints look a great squad, not just a good team.
Yeah, more game time for Matty Smith, but Justin Holbrook admitting it's going to become increasingly difficult to keep the talented number 7 at St Helens. All right, coming up next, it's Masters Day 2. Overnight leader Jordan Spieth, he's had a tough day at Augusta. Patrick Reed currently leading there. It's now on Sky Sports Golf. And hope you can join us tomorrow from the NRL, West Tigers Melbourne, 6 a.m. Sky Sports Arena, and then a double-header from the Betfred Super League. We're at the AJ Bell Stadium for the visit of Warrington, won their last 4 matches. Salford, though, good at home, 3:10 Sky Sports Arena. And then will Sam Tompkins be going up against his employers for 2019 as the Wigan Warriors take on the Catalan Dragons, 5:10 Sky Sports Arena. Trust you can join us for those 2 matches. Thanks very much to Phil. Congratulations to St Helens, still top of the table by some margin.
Pinpoint this, claimed brilliantly by Zeb Taylor.